They that be wise. My name is Daniel Vallis, and welcome to our channel. Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. The heavens declare the glory of God. I finally was able to get a clear sky tonight and go out and take some pictures, and here just shortly after sunset I could already see Jupiter. You probably can't see it in this picture, but it is just barely there. It's only 1 or 2 pixels tall, but it's right there, but I could see it. It's so bright, and that's what I love about this sign. It is visible all around the world, and it stands out so well. It catches your attention. And here, just shortly after sunset, I think it was about a little after 7:30 my time, you could already see Jupiter. Even in the blue sky, it stood out that much. When we zoom in a little bit more, you could see it up there right now. But you can start to see, even on a blue sky, it sticks out. You almost mistake it for a plane at first. But then when you zoom in more, it's a steady, steadfast light. It catches your attention, especially as the night grows darker. And I had to take a little snack break in between. Had to wait about 15 minutes for it to get darker so I could take pictures and get the other stars in there too as well. But you could see Jupiter. And I only really had about a half hour to take pictures after I saw it before it started to get down into some clouds and the haze. But up in the left-hand corner, you could see Spica, part of Virgo. But Jupiter definitely stands out and catches your attention. It's almost impossible to miss if you're looking in a westerly direction about an hour after sunset. But when I zoomed in with my camera, and I just have a low-grade camera, it's nothing special at all, but you could see Jupiter right there, and you could see the stars of Virgo right above it that we've been tracking. And so this is real easy to spot and verify where Jupiter is. This sign of Shiloh is not something that's obscure or nobody can see. This is an extremely visible story being rehearsed in the heavens right now, that the heavens are declaring this Shiloh sign, that he is coming to gather his people. And let me highlight the stars to help you see them a little bit better. Those are a Virgo, that's marking the boundary we are looking at. And right here's the path that Jupiter is taking. And toward the evening, all these constellations are tilted going downward. So keep that in mind when looking at our chart. It's going to be sideways from our chart. But Jupiter is moving in a leftward direction. And when we pull up the chart from yesterday, which was the 14th, we could see that it was definitely still in the hind legs compared to the charts that we've examined before. And you could also visually tell that it's right where it's expected to be, and still clearly outside of Virgo and quite a ways too, so it's definitely not within Virgo at all, of that concept. And by the charts we can tell it's also in the hind leg too as well. And when we overlay the data, you get an even clearer idea, and you can see that it's still well within the historical data from the charts that we've looked at, all 4 of the charts that we've looked at, which are a consensus from even other charts that we've looked at too as well. So there's no doubt that Jupiter is still within the understanding of the leg right now. No doubt about that at all. But it's only going to be there for a few more days. And we've been examining how the Star of Bethlehem signs, which are related to the sign of Shiloh with Jupiter, the median anniversary of them is in just the hours ahead of us. We don't know the day or hour. It could be any time over the next few days, but only a few days. And it seems our attention is drawn to the 16th, 17th-ish, around there. It's all fuzzy. There's a plus or day. We don't know. We don't know how the pattern is going to be fulfilled. Is it going to be right at the mark? Is it going to be right after the mark? You know, Esther, she prepared for a year and then she went to the king's house. So we don't know how exactly that's going to be. But we do know it's right around here, and we're pointed to it, and it's right in this prime time. And we only have a handful of days left, so there's not that many options to choose from. And this is photoshopped of where it will be on the 17th, just a projection. On the 17th, this is where it would be. Right, still within all 4 charts, and you can strongly make a case for it, but this is right when the median average anniversary of the Star of Bethlehem seems to be pointing at a higher point of it. So that's where Jupiter would be on the 17th. And we know that once it leaves the conceptual legs, that the outline boundary in the historical documents typically followed the outline of the concept too as well. So the modified border for Judah, for Leo, would be between where we can strongly say it's in the leg and Virgo. And the head of Virgo isn't that far beyond that either. And its concept is going to be just slightly beyond that. So the sign of Shiloh won't be going much further, and we see our attention drawn to right now. So let's clear up the view a bit, and let's look at the story being told here. Matthew 25:1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch, therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Watch, therefore. In Psalm 19, the picture is given of the sun as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. The sun as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. And we noticed that just a few days ago, back on August 11th, the picture was rehearsed for us of the sun entering Leo's chamber and leaving the previous chamber. This was on August 11th. Right when Jupiter reached the astronomical international border that we were looking at. Keep this in mind. Every point that we've been seeing along this path has been rehearsed for a reason. We must keep going forward in faith, and we will see why later. But on the 11th, right when Jupiter was at the border of today's border with Leo, was the exact same time that the Son of Righteousness picture, the bridegroom leaving his chamber, was happening at the exact same time. And that goes with the Shiloh sign of Shiloh coming to gather his people. Right during the month of Elul, connected with harvest, he's coming to get his beloved. The Lion of the tribe of Judah is coming to get his beloved. And on the 11th, right when Jupiter was crossing a border, the picture of the Son of Righteousness, the bridegroom, was coming out of his chamber at that exact same time. And this should catch our attention, that 2 celestial objects on the celestial clock, both with different travel speeds, both came to borders of the exact same constellation at the exact same time. Talk about precision. This was done very deliberately. A story is being rehearsed for us right now. Incredible precision. The Son of Righteousness is coming out when Jupiter is reaching the end of the hind foot, right when we are expecting the gathering of Shiloh's people, right when we are expecting the bridegroom to pick up his bride, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber. So if this picture was rehearsed on the 11th of the bridegroom coming out of his chamber, that goes with the Matthew 25 parable, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. That announcement was on the 11th, the same day that Jupiter was at the international border that we were looking at. On that day, the final message went out, because that was the day the sun came out of his chamber. That's when the bridegroom came out of his chamber. The story is telling us the bridegroom is on his way right now. Go ye out to meet him. But if the sun represents the bridegroom, then what represents the bride? The sun, even in the Bible, is always declared as masculine, but the moon, even in the Bible, is always declared as feminine. And the moon has an association with female and the bride too as well, and sometimes even the church. So we have the sun, which is now picturing the bridegroom coming out of his chamber. The message is, go ye out to meet him. So when we look at the moon, and we look at its phases, we see that on August 18th in Jerusalem will be the full moon. That is when the moon will be shining the brightest. Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. The anniversary date that we've been looking at with the Star of Bethlehem is pointing around the 16th, 17th. So it is interesting that during that window, the moon, which pictures the bride, the female bride, is growing brighter and brighter and brighter. Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Now all this messaging is being rehearsed in the constellation Leo. What is the very next constellation called? Virgo, for the Virgin. We have a picture being rehearsed right where these two meet. The Virgo constellation as a whole represents something else, but the concept right here at the border, where they meet, we see a very interesting story and picture being rehearsed, with the sun, the moon, and the stars and the constellations. We see all aspects of the celestial signs telling this story right now. We see the signs in the heavens, signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, telling us that our redemption draweth nigh. And we talked about the Bible, how it equates the division of the constellations. And this was the ancient understanding too as well, how they were divided, and those sections, those groupings were considered and called chambers. And in other cultures, they even use words such as inn and lodging places and mansions. Chambers. And right between Virgo, the Virgin, and Leo, there's a border which marks one chamber and another. There's a threshold between these two. And so in between the chambers, where the scepter will be going, will be the picture of the door as it goes from one chamber into the next chamber. There is a door between the chambers. And what was the midnight cry? Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Where will the bridegroom meet the bride? The bridegroom will meet the bride halfway between him coming out and her going to meet him. Halfway. And we are called to go out and meet him halfway. He's already coming, in a sense, to us. He's already left his chamber, the picture of the chamber. We are going to meet him halfway. The meeting of the bridegroom and the bride is outside of the chamber, but in between the call, behold the bridegroom cometh, and the door. The bridegroom is expected to gather his people outside of the door. And when we look at the Shiloh passage, it gives two important conditions. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. We have full expectation that the bridegroom will meet with the bride halfway. Shiloh will meet with his beloved halfway, while the scepter is still in the feet of Judah. The meeting will be halfway. And in the parable of the 10 virgins, the wise told the foolish to go buy oil, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. The bridegroom met the bride halfway. They then went in to the door, and then the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. The meeting took place halfway outside of the door. Then they went in the door, and the door was shut then. The bridegroom is going to gather his bride outside of the chamber, outside of the door. We have heard the midnight cry, behold, the bridegroom cometh. He's already on his way, in a sense. Go ye out to meet him. And then you'll remember from our studies that on the 27th, when Jupiter gets just inside Virgo, is going to be the third star of Bethlehem. And this is an incredible picture, because if you'll remember, the first 2 star Bethlehems. Back at Christ's first coming, when the king came the first time, there were only 2 star Bethlehems. And the 2nd star Bethlehem pointed out where the king was. Remember, the wise men stopped for directions, and then they saw the 2nd star, which showed them where the king was. There was no 3rd Bethlehem star then. So if the 2nd star showed where the king was, what would a 3rd Bethlehem star show? A 3rd Bethlehem star would show where the king was with his wise, shining bride. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. The bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. The Star of Bethlehem story is showing where the king is with his wise, shining bride. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. We see the picture of the bridegroom coming out of his chamber. He's coming to gather his bride, coming to take his bride to the place he has prepared for her. They are going to meet halfway. They are then going to go into his chamber and close the door. And the king will be forever with his bride. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place, to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord God hath spoken, who can but prophesy? We see an incredible story being told in the heavens, declared in the heavens, with the sun, the moon, the stars, the constellations, telling the story of Shiloh coming to gather his people, the Lion of the tribe of Judah coming to gather his bride. We are told we will not know the day or hour, but we are told in the exact same verse to watch for the bridegroom. Because if we are watching, we will hear the trumpet call at midnight. We will see the day approaching. We will be able to look up at what the heavens are declaring, and we'll be able to lift up our heads and tell that our redemption, that our bridegroom, that the Lion of the tribe of Judah is drawing nigh. We have so much drawing our attention to this time. To ignore it would be foolish. To not live in light of everything we're being shown at this time would be foolish. Are we acting wisely at this time? Are we making ourselves ready? Are we rising up? Are we trimming our lamp? Are we making ourselves ready? That is going to show if we are wise or if we are foolish. We are expecting, we are waiting, we are hoping for the redemption of the purchased possession. We are the virgins. We are the bridesmaids. Collectively, we are the body of Christ, but individually, we are the bridesmaids, we are the virgins. And it is our job to help each other and to encourage each other as we all get ready to be the bride of Christ. And let us consider one another, to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. If we are watching, if we are looking up, we will see that our redemption draweth nigh. We will see the day approaching. And as we see the day approaching, we should so much the more exhort each other and help each other get ready. Help each other shine bright. Help lift each other up. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Now is the time when we check our lamps. Now is the time when we trim our lamps. Now is the time when we cut off anything that is keeping us from shining bright. Now is when we check the oil in our lamp to see what is shining, what is showing in our life right now. And if we can tell we're running low on oil, we better stop what we're doing and make sure we buy some more oil. Serving Christ, shining bright for Christ, having Christ shine and show in our life will cost us something. It will cost us our time. It will cost us our attention. It will cost us our strength, our energy, our passions, our heart, our life. It will cost us something to shine bright for Christ. And if your life and service for Christ does not cost you anything, then you probably aren't shining very brightly. Now is the time when we check our lamps. Now is the time when we trim our lamps. We have heard the midnight cry, the bridegroom cometh. He is already on the way. We are already expected to be going out to meet him. Are we rising up or are we sitting down? Are we getting busy to shine bright for him? Are we rising up? Are we shining? Are we making ourselves ready? How we shine and live with our heart and life at this time is going to be a reflection of our love and our gratitude for our Redeemer and all that he has done for us. How we live now in these twilight moments will reflect our love for our Redeemer. Are we rising up with our heart and with our life to go out to meet our beloved? And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Brother, sister, how are you shining? Shine bright for Christ. Rise up, trim your lamp, shine bright for Christ, and go out to meet him. Serve Christ first and highest above all else. Maranatha.